I thought it was time I do one of these again. Hey everyone, what up? Kaiser here. And man, oh man, do we get more juicy stuff for Tales of Arise, which I'm pretty sure some of my people have already covered it to death right now. So, just like what I do with most games, I'm giving you my top 5 reasons why I'm looking forward to Tales of Arise. Now, Tales games, I've already stated in my top 5 reasons why I love Tales video, has pretty much good music thanks to the main composer Motoi Sakuraba providing some bangers in the very past games, and even with help from Ghost Sheena as well. Now, however, one criticism I found with Berseria is that while some tracks were solid, the overall OST for Berseria, in my opinion, was forgettable, to be honest. Like, it wasn't fully memorable as I would hope for Motoi Sakuraba. But with Arise, it does seem, from what we've seen so far and heard, that Motoi Sakuraba is back and he's going full on board, especially when he's backed up by an orchestra. I listened to some of these from the gameplay videos and man, oh man, it's so beautiful and just wow. Motoi Sakuraba is killing it. Other things to also note is that we also had the opening animation revealed, with the band revealed known as Kankaku Piero. I hope I didn't butcher that. Please correct me if I'm saying it wrong. That was also known for doing songs for Black Clover as well. And man, oh man, does it sound awesome. Especially when the fact that they have provided both a Japanese version and English version of the same song Hibana for Tales of Arise, which we haven't heard since a long time, since White Wishes from Boa from Tales of Grace's F, and Bonnie Pink singing Ring a Bell from Tales of Vesperia. So all of that really just excites me, and all of it is just good news to hear. Now, of course, I think one of the main highlights and the main draws of Tales of Arise, which pretty much got the majority of the fanbase excited, as well as newbies excited, is of course the graphics itself. And man, the graphics look fantastic. Using Unreal Engine 4, which I've stated before so much I feel like a broken record, is a fantastic engine to use for lots of JRPGs. And Tales of Arise is looking to be absolutely no exception at all, especially with the way they use it, giving a thing called the Atmos shader, which basically uses like cell shading and the environments to make it look like something out of a watercolor painting. And from the gameplay and the character designs, I have to say, it does look fantastic and just downright beautiful. Needless to say that I think it is one of the best looking JRPGs of this year, and probably one of the best looking games of 2021. Possibly even one of the best looking games of all time even. Like, absolutely gorgeous, especially from the environments we saw so far, from the combat as well as just everything. Just, oh boy. And that's where we go on to now, the combat. Actually, the overall gameplay, to be honest. Now, there's lots of things to talk about Tales of Rise, but I don't think I can cover every single detail, so I'll just sum up from some things to keep it brief. One which is for exploration. For Tales of Arise, they have really amped up to make it look a bit more modern and more dynamic. For the first time in the series, I believe, you can officially now jump freely. Instead of past games where you go to like an edge and it gives you a prompt to jump, you can jump anytime you want. As well as if you see any water or rivers, you can even swim. As well as you can even sprint, just like in Tales of Xillia 2. Those additions alone, as well as adding efficient animation, as well as both crafting, camping, and cooking, as from what we've heard, really makes Tales of Rise bring the Tales series fully to life in the very modern era of JRPGs now, especially since, while I did like some of the past Tales games, I do understand that some of the concerns is that some of them do feel limited gameplay wise and exploration and all that stuff, but I'm glad to see they're upping their game for Tales of Rise in terms of exploration and downright movement. As such, exploration wise, it is said to be a sublinear. While it's not fully open world like say Breath of the Wild 2 or Xenoblade Chronicles, it is also not very linear, something like Final Fantasy 13. It's actually just a hybrid, or like a marriage between having some openness and some linearity, so it doesn't make fully bloated, but at the same time not fully restricted. So think of it like say Dragon Quest XI's in a way. And from what we've seen, it does look very fun to explore, and that I'm looking forward to, as well piling onto the fact that they've also added a day and night cycle from the looks of it, which that's the very first of the series. But also, let's also talk about the combat. Now it does have some of the series traditions, like going to an enemy and transitioning to the linear motion battle system thing. And yeah, that's pretty much all good. First of all, normal attacks make a return, as well as you have different types of arts set up, which it's stated you can have it set up to like at least 9 to 12 arts on your controller. 3 buttons for different types of arts on the ground, and 3 of them in the air. So it's glad to see that aerial combat is having some emphasis. Also, first in the series is dodging. Now, some past Tales games had some form of dodging involving quick step, but this one takes a full amount of having it to dodge, something similar to say some other JRPGs like Ys or Kingdom Hearts in say. And a good thing about this is if you get a perfect dodge, you're able to counterattack enemies. So it does have a good emphasis on dodging as well and predicting enemy attacks. Other things they've added was the boost. There's tons of boost things like boost break, boost attack, which lets you to use a special different attack from a party member, as well as your own perks, which I think is Boost Break, and of course Boost Strike, which allows you to do a special Mystic Arts team attack similar to the Link attack and Linked Arts and Fatal Strikes from both Vesperia and Xillia. Actually no, Linked Arts from Xillia, Fatal Strikes from Vesperia. Why did I get those mixed up anyway? But yeah, honestly, all of what they've added on, as well as having like 6 party members, just looks all the more fantastic and just amazing. They also added some things like CEP, which is basically used for healing arts and restore your health, but it does get spent a lot depending on if you want to use it. And of course, there's probably also a controversial thing they've added, thanks to all this gameplay and mechanics and whatnot, and also switching them on the fly. The main controversy that does have is the lack of multiplayer, which is going to upset some Tales fans who really loved the multiplayer in past Tales games. Even though, to be honest, some of them weren't well optimized and just some of them even didn't have proper multiplayer, and some of them even lacked multiplayer in past ones. It's a shame, sure, and if you want to voice your opinion on it, go ahead, do it for the next Tales game, but not for Rise, because they really want to make it fully. It's mainly meant to be a single player story driven experience than just having co-op, because co-op in Tales games is mainly just there. It just exists, nothing really too special about it. But other than that, just combat looks great. Of course, another draw of Tales of Rise to me is the story. Now, from all the trailers and promotion material, it's said to be where 300 years ago, the planet Dana had been gathering this powerful energy of mana, so much that Dana, which is a more technical and more advanced planet compared to Dana being more medieval and ancient, have started to invade Dana and take over its resources and enslave the entire planet, withholding its people as slaves and basically just conquer the planet, all for that juicy mana. So much so that it leaves a group of people to stop them, including Alphen, who is a man that can feel no pain and has amnesia and is a Danan slave, to my girl, my love, my beauty, Xion, who's actually from Reina and has the curse of the thorns, where if you touch her, it can inflict pain on you, and she seems to have some motive on turning against her own people. Follow that, as well as we meet other party members, who some of them are from Dana and some from Reina, who have all their own motives to band together to stop and to help reclaim Dana's independence and hope that both worlds can coexist peacefully. Now, of course, that is what we know from the basis of it, but knowing from Tales games, there's going to be some plot twist that will change the story drastically, or even add some new levels to a plot to make it more interesting and more deeper than what it is. And all these things, additions from the villains, especially with the recent one being a hooded figure, really adds that there's possibly going to be more to this story than meets the eye, and I'm definitely looking forward to it, as the story does show promise. Ever since the last game, Tales of Berseria had a fantastic story, so yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to what Tale Arise will bring. And of course, my number one, which is pretty much the same as to why I love Tales, as well as also the Kiseki games, is the characters. Obviously, with Tales game, even if some of the stories may not be all that good, the characters is what stands the most, and Tales games always have some impressive characters, such memorable, so developed, and downright likable and cool, not only fun to play, but also to relate to and care about. And it does seem for Tales of Arise, it's not going to be an exception, as the characters not only look fantastic thanks to Maroto's design, but also from what we've seen of gameplay in the trailers, they seem to be well portrayed and well voice acted so far. With Alphen, Xion, Law, Rinwell, Kisara, and Dolim, all of them look fantastic, and I'm dying to see on when they meet up, how they get along with their journey, when they develop, all that stuff, because all of it looks promised, with Alphen being numb to pain and having no memories, to Xion, who's from Reina but has a curse where if you touch her she'll inflict pain, to Winwell, who is a Danan mage but also uses astral arts, which is something exclusive only to the Renans, to Law, who is a Danan but works as a police officer for Reina, Dolim, who's a Reina noble, but he's more peaceful to the Danans and enjoys having both peace with Reina and Dana, and Kisara, who's a Danan but joins the military for Reina, but Reina actually admires her, to be honest. All of this culminating with the villains we've seen so far, like Balsef, that redhead lady, that new guy we saw in the opening, and of course that hooded figure. No, all of it just seems very intriguing, and with the way it's advertised so far, I am certainly gonna fall in love with this entire cast, like I've always done with the majority of the Tales games, all the way from Berseria, Vesperia, Basilia Duology, Symphonia, Abyss, Graces, Zestiria, yes, even Zestiria. Just I am going to eventually love this cast, and who knows, they could be my new favorite cast in the Tales series. But anyway guys, that is my list of the reasons why I'm looking forward to Tales of Arise. So, what are you guys looking forward to in Arise, and are you looking forward to Tales of Arise? Let me know in the comments down below. Anyway guys, thanks for watching, so punch that like button, drop that comment, and click that subscribe button if you're new, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Mad Kaiser, out.